Since no one else could know about this or would know about this, back in the probably 1500s to 1600s, I forget exactly when the stock market actually started. Somewhere around 1200 or 1500 it was going, and definitely by 1700 it was definitely going. And basically, it was offered. I'm not exactly sure about the actual years, but basically, what was known, there was a stock known as common stock. That's why there's reference to comstock, I believe. I'm not exactly sure. Like a lot of my information is way out of date. Like I say, I used to know because I used to actually be part of everything. And basically, there was a stock known as common stock, um, which is basically you basically put your stuff on the common stock market, and pretty much if you had sheep or cows or milk, you'd be selling on the common stock market. It's actually a marketplace or something. It's like the stock market. There's the stock market. The markets were actually divided up at some point in time for a minute into different subcategories, and then they were put. I forget exactly how it went down, but basically there's they divided it up basically, because originally it was just one building or just three buildings around the world, and then that are now considered churches or cathedrals, um, and then it became, because each telephones and communication was really hard. So basically each place would originally had radios or telegraphs, and basically you would list your item, and they would write it up on the board, and there was categories. One of them, I believe, was comstock, common stock, and that subcategory has like different things, like I think sheep and whatever stuff like that. They've done several things to it with the stock market. You'll have to look in the history, but basically there's common stock, and then they would telegraph common stock, and then they would 50 whatever, and there was actually the number of items that were on the common stock. Most people in the 1920s and 1930s had no idea how the stock market worked. They thought they were investing in items, and what they were actually doing is they're actually giving their money for items. Like they would go and, well, what you would do in the stock market in the old days, if you needed, like, say 50 sheep or 50 sheepskins, you would go and you would be like, you'd look at the board and you'd say, yeah, I'm gonna need 400 lamb hides. Yeah, okay. Um, and you would go and pay the person, and the person would go, and the board would change down lower. So now, if they would minus your 50 that you just paid for. Now then, and then you will receive a ticket, which said 50 because you paid at that price, and they would also list the price. And I forget, it had to do with my shipping network too, because I could ship anywhere or something like that. And I was doing shipping anywhere or something like that. And there was also a shipping charge included or something like that. Um, anyway, though, so and that's where some people got a little creative with the shipping charge, because depending on where you were, if you were in, say, Belfast, and you wanted 50 sheepskins, and they were coming from, say, um, Germany, you'd be charged more money than if you. Sometimes it was actually cheaper to go get 50 sheepskins from just down the street. You know, but if just down the street ran out of sheepskins, you would then go to the Comstock. Yeah, I'm gonna go down to the Comstock and buy some more seed. We're out. Like, so if you were in Russia and you're out of seeds or whatever, you would go down to the Comstock, and then you'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna need 40 ingots or 25 ingots or whatever. And so you go, and you pay the person there. They take your money or whatever, or take whatever it was. And I think there's a backside to to the stock market. There's always a front and a backside. In the front side, you'd be giving up your money or whatever, gold, silver, whatever. On the backside, there is another stock market, and in that stock market, because the stock markets were also warehouses. So in the back market, there'd be a guy going, yeah, you'd write up with your 50 sheepskins, and you'd be like, okay, I want to sell these 50 sheepskins. And you'd be like, yeah, okay, let's look at the board. Yeah, okay, oh yeah, they're at 43. No, 3 pence at a tent. Okay. Yeah. Well, how many you got? Okay. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. Whatever. Per one. So, or whatever. Yeah, it's at 35 and an eighth. Okay, yeah. So you get 35 and an eighth per one or whatever. So anyway, so and then somewhere, say in New York, somebody would be like, okay, we're out over here, so we need blah, blah. And so okay, it looks like we need food. Okay, yeah, and then they would sell them, and they'd make a little money. So there is when you gave your stuff up at the back to the stock market, and originally a stock market, I think, was just stock, living stock, like livestock, like they had cows and stuff that were there. And then there was also the commodities market or whatever, which would be material things. They also had a seed category too, plants or animals, but I mean a plant thing like seeds and certain things. And then you could also buy a sapling or whatever, because you could also buy a sapling, a whole sapling. I sold saplings on the market, and you'd get a little sapling and it was there's your tree. People could buy trees on the stock market. They'd be like, "Yeah, I'd like a tree," and so they $5, and so they'd be sending. So a whole pine tree would be shipped. Usually a small pine tree. Sometimes people bought big pine trees. So like, "Yeah, I'd like a 3 foot wide pine tree," and my people would go, really like, ah, like yeah. You asked for the whole thing, right? Except for the branches. So we actually did that a couple times. A couple times people ordered big trees, and it's like, what the little tree? There'd be a tree on the top of a tree. It's like they couldn't have cut it and turned it into lumber. No, somebody asked for a whole tree. Or there'd be a tree. We put a limit on how big of a tree you could actually order. It cannot be, because a couple times it was like coming up to the. Coming up to the tunnel, they'd be like, "Well, the tree's a bit shorter." They would take out. If you paid a little extra money, they would try and bend over the tree and try and get it underneath the tunnels. But back in those days, especially with the Irish and the British, they were good sports, as I say. I love my Irish, I love my British. They were good sports. They would actually sell the whole tree on the pot and everything, and they would ship it by the train. They could load it on a train and it would go down the road. They limited it to root size. The root size could not be longer than or bigger than 10 foot round or something like that. So it'd fit down the thing. And the branches. And the branches, everything would be cut to the size of the tunnels. It was actually really good. It's like you'd get a tree, it would be square. They didn't always live, but hey. They would try to keep as much of the roots as possible. And we learned how to ship trees. But mostly we shipped like little saplings. You'd buy like 35 saplings, and then they would pull them out of the ground, put